In a deep, green valley, where flowers shone in bright colors, and dinosaurs lived in peace, our hero, a small but brave diplodocus, named Dicky, enjoyed life. He frolicked in his paradise corner, a colorful prehistoric valley, where the flowers were brighter than a rainbow, and butterflies twirled in the air like floating flowers. What a beautiful day, Dicky thought joyfully, looking at the gigantic valley where the big dinosaurs lived. But suddenly the sky became as dark as late night, and a powerful hurricane broke out, with a thunderous roar. Poor Dicky, before he could understand what was happening, was thrown into an unfamiliar and mysterious land. "Where am I?" he whispered with fear in his voice, looking around. Everything was strange and frightening. Thorny trees scratched him, and the wind hissed like an ominous whisper. But suddenly his eyes caught something sparkling in the darkness. It was a glowing stone, emitting a warm, comforting light. Could it be a fallen moon? Dicky wondered aloud, looking at the stone with surprise and admiration. He cautiously picked up the stone, his heart pounding with excitement, and a sense of important mission to return the moon to the sky. But then he met a lonely little dinosaur Dino, who stood at the edge of the forest. The dinosaur was looking at him with big, sad eyes. "Look what I found," Dicky said, opening his paws and showing the glowing stone. The little dinosaur looked at the stone, and his eyes shone. "It looks like a little moon," he exclaimed, and his face lit up with a smile. For the first time in a long time, joy lit up in the eyes of the little dinosaur. It was an indescribable feeling when you see that you can give someone a little happiness. "I think it's a fallen moon," Dicky explained, his eyes sparkling with wonder and joy. "I want to return it to the sky. Will you help me?" The little dinosaur Dino nodded. His eyes shone even more from excitement. "I would love to help," he said, and his voice sounded newly confident. And so began their great adventure. Dicky and the little dinosaur, holding the glowing stone, set off on their journey, experiencing a mix of fear and excitement, but full of determination. But their path was full of unexpected turns and dangers. They faced huge termite mounds, dodged huge branches falling from trees. The next morning greeted Dicky and Dino with dazzling rays of dawn, reflected off ancient trees wrapped in vines. They moved along a gigantic stream covered with blooming moss, where there was an unusual silence. The first on their path was a thick and kind herbivorous Stegosaurus. "Where are you headed, little ones?" he asked, looking at them with his kind, elderly eyes. "We want to return the moon to the sky," said Dicky, showing the glowing stone. The Stegosaurus smiled and advised them to go east, to the highest mountain. However, not all encounters were so pleasant. Upon meeting a group of unpleasant, greedy velociraptors, Dicky and Dino had to hide their stone and pretend to be ordinary dinosaurs. "What do you have there?" one of the velociraptors hissed ominously. "Nothing special, just a stone," Dicky quickly replied, trying to sound calm and confident. They left the velociraptors, but they were on alert and began to pursue them. Later, they met a cheerful group of small protoceratops who decided to help them. They deceived the velociraptors, leading them on a false trail while Dicky and Dino fled to a safe place. "It looks like we'll have to be more careful next time," Dicky said, when they were safe again. Dino nodded, his little eyes shining with determination. They continued their journey, but soon met 3 terrifying Tyrannosaurs. They were tall and scary. Their teeth sparkled in the sunlight, and their eyes burned with a thirst for hunting. "What do you have there?" one of them asked loudly and demandingly, pointing at Dicky's glowing stone. Dicky tried to convince them that it was just an ordinary stone, but the Tyrannosaurs were not satisfied. "Show us the stone or we'll eat both of you," threatened the second Tyrannosaur. Dicky looked at them, feeling his heart pounding wildly. He understood that a direct conflict with these giants could cost them their lives. Suddenly, Dicky remembered their new friends, the cheerful and quick protoceratops they had met earlier. "Remember, they told us about an old abandoned cave nearby?" he whispered to Dino. "We need to run there." And they ran. The Tyrannosaurs growled and began to chase them, but were too bulky and slow to catch up with our heroes. Dicky and Dino made their way into the cave and hid there. They decided to continue their journey the next morning. For now, they decided to light a fire and warm up a little and sleep. The next morning, they continued their journey. By noon, they had already reached the high volcano. Breathing heavily and sweating, Dicky and Dino made their way through the thick smoke to the foot of the majestic volcano. Their hearts pounded with fear and excitement. "Just look at this," Dicky gasped in astonishment, pointing to the volcano. "We need to go up." And so their ascent began, through raging streams of molten lava, covering the ground with sparks under the menacing roar of the volcano. "Careful, Dino. Don't step on that crack," Dicky shouted as his friend almost stepped on a crack that was emitting smoke. There were dangers all around. Cracks in the ground, hot stones, and even trails of sparkling lava that broke through the ground from time to time. Suddenly, pterodactyls emerged from the cloud of smoke. Their long, sharp claws and fierce eyes were full of malice. The pterodactyls wanted to eat Dino and his friend. "Dino, run," shouted Dicky, and they quickly jumped into the nearest cave. Inside the cave, it was cool and quiet. The smell of moss filled the air, and dim light filtered through narrow slits in the ceiling. An old dinosaur sat in the corner of the cave. He was wrinkled, and his eyes were full of wisdom. "My little Dicky," he began his story, "your stone is not the moon. It's an asteroid." "Asteroid?" Dicky asked again, feeling his hopes begin to fade. But he quickly gathered his thoughts. "Then, what should we do with this stone?" The old dinosaur smiled and suggested that Dicky give the stone to someone who needed it most. "Dino, listen," said Dicky, holding a small piece of the asteroid. "I want to give this asteroid to you, as you have become a real friend to me." When the little dinosaur took the shiny stone, his eyes lit up with joy. He gratefully smiled at Dicky, and the latter felt that their adventure was truly worth it. "Remember, Dicky," the old dinosaur began, "the most important things in life are friendship and helping others. The asteroid is just a piece of stone, but you managed to turn it into a symbol of hope and joy for this little dinosaur." Dicky and Dino became close friends, and they decided to always be together and help each other.